It's my cat deciding this would be the perfect time to talk just as the music ended. The intro music. Well, welcome. I'm Dan Lutz. I'm here on the front lines in the battle against the deep state, the cabal, the Illumbadonkeys, and all those that wish to, do stupid things to the rest of all of us. So, today I'm going to focus on the beginning on the wwg1wga.love Telegram group because it's providing me the news. Things to look at in one place, all put together, and I appreciate everyone who posts there. Because I'm really not getting it from YouTube directly through my feed. So, and it's interesting. I was complaining that YouTube was only sending me Fox, these fake channels that of the same news stories, all from a different and all saying except Trump news, right? Breaking news. They all have the same kind of name, right? But it's all the same information coming in, and I haven't subscribed to any of these channels, but it's just feeding it to me. And I complain about it, and then all of a sudden it disappears. All right, and I start talking about it, and then I say, oh, this is interesting. And then it comes back. Very strange. So at least through the Telegram group, I can go through and I can pick up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first note that we are the news, right? So sign up for that Telegram group. The link is down below. Then you can also get news stories coming to you about what I'm showing. But I'm going to go. I'm going to take a very quick look through what came in. Mostly everything. Some things are not easy to show just because of it's not in a right format or something like that. But I'm gonna start going through those. So first, let me go ahead and line up the first one. Now this is basically, just before we get started, in about 15 minutes or so, we're going to have Michelle Walker and Tank are going to join in, and we're going to go from there. But I'm going to go through a quick news stories and see what's showing up here. So on the group. So this is about Australia, fires in Australia.
Amid the scenes of human heartache this summer, another tragedy has been playing out, the huge toll on our unique wildlife. With repeated fires, it's likely that there will be long-term decreases in their populations to the point where even currently common species begin to come under real threat.
So again, I'm going to go through, I'm going to play everything in detail because we don't have too much time, but just to give you an idea. So on the fires in Australia, it reminds me of fires in California. Now that, people are being busted now in California for actually setting the fires and so on as well. Here's a Trump rally. Now, I stopped at this point right here because he had said this phrase. I think he stumbled upon it. We're gonna hear a lot of that. He's kept more promises than he made, which is a wonderful, wonderful thought, because literally the way I take it is that there's unsaid promises with his election. They weren't said, but we know that they're promises made to us, and he's keeping them. That's what I take out of that. This is a video that I used to tell everyone about. Just over 9 million views from January 2011. Collapse of the American Dream Explained. So this goes through and just telling you really about how the banking system works. Right, and it's all animated. It tells you about that all the money is debt, right? And it really teaches how the system is actually functioning, right? So, and it goes way into the deepness of how it came about here, like J.P. Morgan, right? And really goes into the whole back end, the IRS. And even gets into this part.
Conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence.
What's happening? Where am I?
And being forced to watch, right? In a straight jacket, eyes, opened up. You gotta take a look. You gotta be awake to see, right? So let's continue on here. Now this is also amazing. This is a guy who fled communism, socialism, right, from Cuba.
My name's Ray, and I escaped socialism in Cuba, windsurfing across the ocean for 10 hours. If socialism were that good, do you think all these people were escaping Cuba? Socialism ruins people's life. I can't believe there's Americans that want that for us here. This is the thing, socialism looks beautiful in a book. And it might taste even good in the first year or so when you're implementing it. But then things start rotting. So at the beginning, most people were like, okay, let's try something new. We already know that the previous government was trash out and bad. So here we got this Robin Hood giving us things. We hit rock bottom.
So interesting thing right there, he said, we already knew that the previous government that they had was trash. So we might as well try something new. Sound familiar? They've ruined, all the politicians have ruined. They're starting all this graft, all of this, back end deals, funneling the money through foreign projects and taking it back in. They're destroying the cities. And they said, what's the solution? Socialism. Same thing. Same, always the promise. But the only thing it does is basically make that small group of elite in full control. And he goes on in here and he says how it's even illegal to eat in Cuba. If you eat the wrong thing, like a lobster. If you went into the ocean and grabbed a lobster. Now the government can do it all day long and they sell that and make a lot of money. But if you do it, then you go to jail. Now he said that in this, he says, all we had to eat was potatoes. And if you ate the wrong thing, you would go to jail. All right, so that's another great video. I'm going to go on here. These are a lot of Twitter threads now. POTUS is well protected. He is light. Moments ago, his entrance. What they're talking about is his entrance to give this speech. Palladian light energy. All right. Now we can't see what's really above the door right there, but that's what they wanted to focus on. This whatever is there. Very interesting. I also talk about Kim Clement in here. So.
From my eyes scales. I was praying for America and I was praying for Israel. Nothing unusual. And suddenly behind me, starting behind my back, going in the form of an arrow, were hundreds of thousands of people. And I turned around and I was stunned with what I saw. This was not just a mere dream, but this was a vision. And so I raised my hand like this, and every one of them raised their hands. I looked back and they were doing the same thing. I shouted, and they all shouted. They were one. They were one. One party. One party of people.
I think that's a really good point. That's what I was saying. You know, we need to be one party for that. This two sides need to be human. That's the same video. I just had a different place. Another one on the same topic here, right? So the commentators kept wondering out loud why POTUS had chosen that particular place for his address. No coincidences, right? This also came in. It was a Malaysian Air flight talking about this had happened in the past, right? So this is from 2014. Let's talk about this Ukraine plane that was shot down that is carrying all these researchers. Was the cure of AIDS lost along with Jepo Wang and 100 top researchers? I remember that, right? There's some other, a lot of talk about who was on all these other kind of inventions and things that were also there, where the inventions were owned by indirectly, investments by J.P. Morgan Chase, and so those, in case of their death, it went to them, and they end up owning the technology. Here's another one. This is from Donald Trump. The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. Sun Tzu. And next we have here. Do you see the 5D chess playing being played out of this one? I bet this was an indirect way that they were being thrown off the royal family. We knew all about it. Meghan. So they were talking about, the royal family and Harry and Meghan. So where they're leaving the royal family, right? But in this, they're really focused on, that they're being excluded. They're being pushed out. All right, and here's another one. This is from Julian's room. Why did Soros' son have several meetings with Canadian Prime Minister, and how was this related to the Clintons? Uranium 1 funnel to Canada to X. Clearance pathway to complete the Uranium 1 deal? Question. Why is the Canadian Prime Minister so important? And it goes into these Q posts. So follow the money. It's the key. What is Pelosi's net worth, by way of one example? Why, coincidentally, is her memory apparently going? That's a question. Cover for possible future indictment to plea what? Right? Oh, she just can't remember. She has Alzheimer's. All right. What if John M. never had surgery? John M. Who's M? John M. What if John M. never had surgery, and that was the cover for a future out if needed against prosecution? Why did Soros transfer his bulk of his funds into a nonprofit? Note this doesn't include massive slush funds that are pulled by several high-ups. So this means like the money that comes from the government, NGOs, United Nations, it's pumped out there. I guess Tank is with us. I hear some background noise going on there. Well, so why?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. Oh, that's not. Oh, that's your Michelle. Hi. I said no problem. I'll just finish this up, and I'll get right back over to you. All right. Why did Soros' son have several meetings with Canadian Prime Minister, and how is that related to Clinton's? Can you rely on being able to board a plane and fly away? Escape through Canada, maybe. Why is MS-13 a priority? Nobody got this. Could people pay such gangs to kill opponents, and why and how to insulate against exposure? The truth is mind-blowing. It cannot fully be exposed. Also, many are thinking from one point of view, U.S. only. This evil is embedded globally. U.S. is the first domino. Have faith. And I guess this going back to pretty much the beginning of the Q clearance. So what is Q clearance? What hint did that implicitly refer to? The Department of Energy. Who do you have? Who would have the goods on uranium-1? Department of Energy. Does related to Q refer to a person that works in the Department of Energy? That's also interesting. All right. This was also the plane crash that killed 63 Canadians. Was really undercover clowns getting the F out of Dodge after Trump threatened their black ops site. Interesting. So were they taken down on purpose? My friend in England was just saying, why were there 63 Canadians inside inside Baghdad? Maybe what are they 63 Canadians doing there? Why is the Canadian Prime Minister, talking with them? So you tie it all together. There's stuff going on in Canada. Was Canadian really the middleman in the uranium-1 deal? Interesting. All right, let's go on. Now this is a way out there bit. Now I'm going to go ahead and play this. So anyway, it'll be self-explanatory.
Hey guys, I'm going to jump right into it. I think you'll find this pretty interesting. I just came across this. I'll leave the link in the description. And I will read this to you. This site serves as the official external communication vehicle for the World Governing Council in the Witten Upper Chamber. If you've been directed here for instruction, note that most messages are intentionally obscure. If you have difficulty understanding a particular message, you may reach out to Luxembourg Cathedral on Node 9 of the Forgotten Frequency. After authentication, you may receive additional instruction. In the upper chamber, we often say, debate is required, respectful dissent is allowed, and betrayal is death. Bear this in mind as you read the instructions written herein. By the time information is posted here, the debate is over and dissent has been noted. Best regards, Somerset Belanoff. So, there's a lot to poke around in here, but I just want to show you the one thing I found very jaw-dropping. I came over here and clicked on October 2017 when our fun and games began. This is the first thing that comes up, and this is the second thing comes up. Windsor Tower, unleash the storm. Begin posting and expect major impact. All shall awaken. Pretty crazy, huh, boys and girls?
I would say it's pretty crazy. So that's kind of out there. I did also come upon this site. Is this is talking about who is that name there that they was referring to, Somerset Belanoff, right? And so I came up with this website and talks about this. So interesting. Don't know where to go with that, but this is the actual site, climatescalling.org, right? And has some interesting things on here. Washington Tower. So, anyway, just good again. It comes from the wwg1wga .love group. And what was this one? Oh yeah, this is interesting. This is about Camelot. So.
Good afternoon, and many of you have been so kind in following us.
It's Camelot Castle.
Camelot Castle over the last few days, and I've had many questions as to why it is that we are flying the Q flag here at Camelot Castle above the battlements. And for those of you that are close followers of Q, you will be able to join the dots. That's what I'm going to say about that at a particular point in time. Many of you have asked me, well, what is it that we do here when we're not supporting the various different freedom movements worldwide or recording world-winning rap songs? And of course, what we do like to have here in England is a lovely cup of tea. And I wanted to share with you these delightful new Q shortbread biscuits that our chef has mustered up in our Camelot Castle kitchens. These are just fresh out of the oven, and I can tell you they are absolutely delicious. Let me just try this one.
Now some Q biscuits.
Fantastic. Well, we serve these here, and we would obviously like to invite all of you to come and experience this. It's a wonderful place to have a cup of tea and chat, and we'd love to welcome our friends here. So, of course, also, this is something that you can do at home. In fact, that's quite a good suggestion. We could have a sort of a Camelot Castle Q biscuit bake-off, and that would be a lovely thing. And of course, you could then invite your friends around to your house and serve.
So I think we're going to have a Q biscuit bake-off. All right. Also got a link here for the Black's Law Dictionary. There's a story about Chelsea Clinton netting $9 million. This is another video here about what's going on with Trump and the way that they're referring to these weird talking points about being a war criminal. And then here's Elon Musk with a Neuralink.
The 27th of March 2017, and Musk announces that he will be backing a new brain-computer interface venture, Neuralink. The ultimate goal of this company is to merge man with machine, fusing human intelligence with artificial intelligence to bring humanity up to a higher level of cognitive reasoning. Without this technology, Musk argues that humans will be unable to keep pace with advances in artificial intelligence, and that humans will become the intellectual equivalent of the house cat.
There we go. Well, that will be interesting. Okay, more here on an older, plane crash, and actually them looking at them actually changing or basically trying to set fire to evidence and things like that on the plane crashes. And this was an encounter with Adam Schiff.
Can you give us some space?
I would love for Adam Schiff, who represents my state, California, to do his job. He's committing treason right now, and I think if he has, it's public space. If he has something to say, I wish he would say it. I wish he'd stop hiding behind the Democrat media that protects you, and actually be willing to answer the question. And for the fact that you say that it's more important than me, a constituent. It's pathetic.
You don't make sense.
How do you know that? How do you know that? How do you know that?
My constituents are better behaved.
Are they? Are they? How am I not well behaved? What, when you commit treason, the definition of treason is trying to overthrow a sitting president. That's what you are doing right now. You're committing treason. I think I'm very well behaved. I think for the way that you're behaving, my behavior is actually more respectful than you deserve.
There we go. Good for that guy. Got oh, here's a Lawful America video. That's coming right into time. So it's also posted there. And we're back over to the live stream. All right, I guess that's let me go ahead and flip that camera back over to the Zoom. Oh, and there's Michelle waiting. Hello, Michelle.
Hi, Dan. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I said, how are you doing this? And then there was silence, so I said, we lost track.
So, can you hear me? We're good? You can hear
you.
me, I hope.
I hear you just fine. Can you hear me?
I can. So I get to be your co-host tonight, Dan.
Oh, awesome. Is Tank coming on?
We don't need Tank.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
We don't need him tonight. I just decided I would come and be your guest, bona fide best co-host that you could have as a guest co-host, and have a savage show.
I'm happy to have you here.
Are you good with that?
That's fine. I mean, you and Lisa can fight over it, and it's no problem. No, because Lisa's been telling me
I do not think he'll be on.
I think we have a little delay in the call, so we're stepping on each other.
I heard that.
Yeah, so I'll try not to step on the conversation so much. But I do know that Lisa's been threatening to come on and be the co-host, because Tank doesn't have time to do co-host with her, so she said she's going to come over here. So that's fine. But it's all good. We can go back and forth. We can bring on more people. We need to expand anyway. We have to build a whole network.
That's right, we do. And so we just thought we would kind of, change it up a little and come on the air and help you out tonight and see how much trouble we could start without Tank. Are you in for that?
Well, yeah. Well, I think I got a good start on it. Going through the Telegram group, wwg1wga.love Telegram group, and just putting out because it's giving me all this great information. I don't have to search for it. It's all on a big stream. Right? It's a better feed than I'm getting from YouTube.
That's great. It's just, isn't it so amazing to have Telegram where we can have all these channels and ways that we can communicate and just have all this information with each other that where we can give the truth and empower each other and support each other. It's just been an amazing experience to have that away from Facebook where you're not being censored and watched all the time. So I've really enjoyed Telegram. I have no idea how many rooms I have. Sometimes I step away for just an hour and I come back and have like 300 and something messages. But I love the groups we have. We have a Waffle America channel now. And so for any of the audience that wants to see me, what's going on with Waffle America and what we drop a lot of constitutional and law and just cases and case law in there. So any of your audience that, find us on Telegram.
Yep, it's a actually wonderful app. It keeps expanding the capabilities, so it's giving us more and more ability to control things, add discussion buttons and these kind of things. So it makes it easier to set up and manage the flow of information a lot easier. Although then, now we have to deal with having bots so that it will eliminate spam that's coming at us. At least in some of the groups, I'm going to get all that. So I'm dealing with a lot of bots to figure out how to make that work. And but it's good. It's starting. And it's also they are in a battle themselves right now because they raised $1.7 billion for their new coin that they were coming out with, and everything was fine. They were about ready to launch. So about 2 weeks before they're ready to put it out there and give all the coins from all the people who put up money. Right, they're going to give out their coin, and then the SEC came in and basically said, stop them, put a hold on them. So, but they're fighting them, right? And so because because of this, it being such a successful tool for freedom, if you add the ability for a transfer of value within this environment, it creates an ecosystem that they don't have any rights to be in, right? So it's outside the fiat system, outside of the thing. So it's in itself makes it its own ecosystem, which is the same thing that I'm doing in Kringle Gold, right? With having a gold.
I've been watching what you've been doing, and just your work and everything that you're doing is like you said, setting people free, and that's what I want to do. And I think what you're doing is just absolutely a true bona fide. What you've got is, hey, you got an opportunity to just be savage out there. So very proud of you, Dan. You have my support.
Oh, thank you. I'm heading that way. And we're just about ready to start allowing the grains to flow. We call them grains. It's because of the gold grain coin. So we're just sending out the grains. That's, maybe tomorrow. It could be today. It's more about just, everything's, close to being done. And for people that participate, we have a point system, and the more points you get a portion of what's coming into the economy. So it's a self-generating. So just by participation. So the people that are very much have no money out there can just participate and start to get something and let it grow.
I think that's what's about to happen to all these government agencies and these judges, these fake actors. I think that they're going to be without money, is what I hear might be the rumor. And especially after we sue them and hold them responsible for what they've done. So
yeah, one of
they may need to look you up.
One of the things I couldn't really get it was in the Telegram group was about Judge Dalton and $250,000 reward. I don't know what that was about. I couldn't read the other details. The picture quality wasn't good.
I think that, we have Judge Dalton, and that's actually an announcement I wanted to make, one of my announcements tonight. So I had a couple announcements, and Tank has had a meeting today. That's one reason why he's not here. So I apologize to the audience that you're going to have to be bored with SpeakWalkers tonight. But the great thing is I can be as lethal as I want tonight. So yay, right, Dan?
Yay!
So let's have a savage show if you're okay with that.
We're ready.
So have a few things going with Intel and what we're doing, and with Judge Dalton, Judge John Dalton.
One second. We're hearing a clicking. It's some kind of clicking sound.
You're not hearing it?
I think it's from your microphone.
You still hear
it? It's like when you stop talking, it's like it's clipping or something like that. I don't know. Is it your connection? It sounds
you still hear it?
Not right now, no.
Well, you know how
It happened again.
I'll try not to move. You know how they like to mess with me.
Well, it could be. It could be, or just sometimes, it's just a connection problem. Like it sounds like it's like a wiggling wire type of connection problem, or whatever you're.
I'll try not to move.
Okay.
I'll try not to move. How about that?
Yes.
I'll be the robot SpeakWalkers tonight.
Okay, good. It's not clipping now. Don't
and
move.
So, well, just call me AI tonight. I just won't move. Okay, how about that? So, I've heard actually, before they've told people that I'm AI. So, and not AI.
That means you're very smart. Right?
Amazingly intelligent, possibly right, but not artificial intelligent. Just amazingly intelligent. So, tonight, you get to hear the news that with Judge Dalton. I want to read this. We've been coming after Dalton, and because in Illinois, we have where there has been confirmed over 56 children have died in the last 6 months in Illinois in the DCFS care. That's out of the Inspector General's report. And what is so sad is they got like $9 million last year to improve their system, and we still have children dying. And unfortunately for Illinois, one of those cases is my case. And so, and we've got the Speak Project, we have the Frontline, we have Lawful America, we have a lot of people who have came to the table to advocate for Carol Wiskowski, Sasha, and James Bell. So we have been advocating. We've not been able to get Sasha home. As you know, we do have a court date, I believe January the 30th again. But we have some news with Dalton, and we have been trying to get him removed from the bench. And so his husband put out a statement tonight, or other day. It said, after over 4.5 years trying to help struggling families in often contentious parentage cases. Now, I think a lot of these families, Mr. Jacobs, is that they're probably struggling because of your husband. But it was announced last night that when our new associate judge joins us in mid-February, and Judge Dalton says this, I will be moving back to the lovely, historic 3rd Street Courthouse to hear civil cases, which offer the opportunity to preside over jury trials, a long-held goal of mine. I am very pleased about this change, Judge Dalton. So mixed feelings about that, that he's going to be moved in the goal, but this was just kind of him downplaying. So what I've been told is that he will never be able to hear jury trials. He will be only presiding over like eviction type courts. So it's not what we want, and it's not where he's going to end up at. And if I have anything to do with it, Judge Dalton's going to be only in the room that he's going to be sitting, maybe on the 3rd cell in a prison, and where he may be on the 3rd floor. But historically, maybe Gitmo, and that would be like truly absolutely bona fide to have him there. But he is going to be removed from presiding over children's cases. So even though this is not the win that we want, and the last time I checked, I don't think Judge Dalton's going to probably want to rate a home, and so this is a way that it's a somewhat win. We're going to take it, where he's not going to be in the care of presiding over children and family cases, but it's still not going to be over. Illinois is going to have to understand that this is not what we're going to accept. You don't just get to remove him from the bench and put him over evictions.
Yeah,
absolutely, Judge Dalton should never be over a jury trial.
Right.
Never.
Well, it's
jury
the same.
trials.
It seems like it's the same thing that happens in the Catholic Church with the priests, right? They make it all, they quiet it all down, and they move the priest to someplace else, right? And then they do the same thing, but then they have to move them again. And so this is not something to be shifting around. So it looks like they're doing something. No, you have to get rid of these people. They have to be put away into a cell. Gitmo sounds great to me.
Right. I've heard from my intel, that, and I've seen flight confirmations where Gitmo had several planes go in, and I've have worked with veterans who have explained to me what happens with Gitmo, and I hope that before it's over that Hillary Clinton's at Gitmo and Barack Obama, with the black sun over Illinois. That's one reason why we're having problem in Illinois is like we are, because Illinois is an area where the black sun is. It is controlled by Obama. That is the international trafficking ring of Illinois. That's where your organ transplant is really heavy through there. And you've got, a lot of actresses. I think you're familiar with one of them, Dan, Oprah Winfrey.
Oh.
And I wouldn't say, I wouldn't say that Oprah traffics children, but I would say that she did have that place in Africa, and there was a case in the news where a lot of children and women were saying that they were being raped and stuff there. So, but Oprah, I know who you are. But the thing about Chicago, the Illinois area, is when Nancy Schaefer was killed, this is the area where you had Boys Town. And that plane that Nancy Schaefer recorded had the Clintons and the Bush and social workers and children on that plane. And so when they were with Niagara flights, they did go through Illinois. Boys Town was the last area that they were at. Nancy Schaefer.
Hello and welcome to the 77th Annual Golden Globe Awards.
Sorry.
Live from the Beverly Hilton Hotel here in Los Angeles. I'm Ricky Gervais. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's like
That's okay.
If my computer seems to, when I get too many things open, it just slows down, and then suddenly, it will come alive. Right? And I don't know how long that was waiting there. I just moved the windows around, and boom. I got to close some of these tabs, so that'll help.
That's okay. That's not. My computer a lot of times likes to just start playing music to me, so I get it. So, but Senator Nancy Schaefer was fighting the Child Protective Services, and the news story was that she was murdered by her husband, but that's not true. We know who killed her, and there was someone on the phone when they came in the house, and so. This is what's amazing is that all darkness is coming to light, and these people are going to be held accountable. And what was so amazing is the person that did go in that house and kill Senator Nancy Schaefer. You're not going to believe this, Dan, but this morning I was getting intel, and someone sent me a lot of pictures and said, would you please go through these pictures and tell me what you see? And I went through the pictures, and I was like, so there was a picture of President Clinton, and with Maxwell, that was Epstein's pimp. Remember who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So in this picture, there is another party in that picture.
Maxwell was the name, right? Maxwell? Gisela Maxwell.
Right. Yeah, where they're on the plane, and so they. It's amazing is, like I said, all darkness comes to light, baby, because the person that killed Nancy Schaefer is in that picture. And so it's a win for us. We were like, okay, now we just continue to put the dots together. We knew that there had been a deal made, and we knew that he was sent in to probably control opposition. As you know, when you're fighting child trafficking, there's so much controlled opposition that we deal with. And, unfortunately, that's just how it works. But we knew that he was a part of the government, the Clinton era. And so, it's all going to come together, and they're going to be held accountable. But Judge Dalton got a demotion, and I hope that he can't traffic houses. I hope that's not his sexual style, and I hope that but that's not going to be his final resting place if I have anything to do with it. He's going to prison. He is absolutely responsible for James's death, and he has put other children in harm's way. Knowingly, what he has done is absolutely unconstitutional, unlawful. I would absolutely say that he has committed treason in our country, and he should be held accountable.
Let me ask you, how, from, he's in Cook County, Kane County, or, because I know it's side by side. So, so of all the judges there, how, as a percentage, how many of them are that corrupted? I'm not talking about
my answer would be, so this is just my opinion, so I'm going to give you what my number would be. It would be all of them.
Oh.
And so all of them is going to be my number for you. I think that they're all just bad actors.
Right. When I said that corrupted, I was referring not to, because there's corruption, mostly people talk about money, right? But this is another form of corruption. This is a moral corruption. And
this is moral corruption. And in Illinois, you and I really haven't got to talk about this very much on Illinois, but I actually have other cases in Illinois and where there is some powerful political people involved. Wheaton College is very important in this area because this is actually where Billy Graham was located at. This is where you have the Monarch programming, the kiddie programming that comes from this area. A lot of people don't know that Billy Graham was part of the Monarch programming. I actually have a copy of some of the checks that he received from the CIA.
Just a little side. Sorry, I'm stepping on you. The only way to break in what I was showing and some of this news that was coming, and I was showing it was talking about this group that was kind of like revealing that this is like the Q or releasing Q post and starting post, but they also said that it was part of the Wheaton Council. So it was kind of interesting. I don't know what the Wheaton Council is and how that relates to this, but
so you got to realize where Wheaton comes from and where all this comes in. Now, what is bad for them, good for us, is that a couple of weeks ago, I was able to get a lot of Wheaton files that are not available to the public, some depositions. I have a deposition that's actually over 450 something pages, and I've absolutely been able to give it to my team. So before this is over, the truth that's going to come out to the audience and through Frontline, Speak Project, SpeakWalkers, and the other media outlets, it's time for we are the media, as you say, we are the news. That's what is in your headline tonight. But this truth is going to be just flat out savage, bona fide type truth. It's going to be amazing. And I'm telling you, I got over probably about 60 files from the Wheaton area and the corrupt. So there was actually a political gay ring going on in that area through the politicals and through the children. And we've got hard evidence to prove this. And now we've been as kind as we can be with Illinois. But I think that it's time that we start to continue to expose them of what they're doing, their corruption, and to release these documents where people know exactly what's going on. And the college there where they've been preying on the athletes. And then you have, like I said, the Monarch programming, the kiddie programming, and the sexual program. Sasha herself is being groomed. And a 4-year-old child just does not walk up to a man and grab his privates, a stranger. And so that's a child that's being groomed to do those things. Right. And we just cannot allow that. I have a case in actually in the same area in Kane County, in the Elgin area. And man, I got the FBI reports and everything. We've got DNA that they refuse to test because they know who's going to be probably on that DNA. But we still have that evidence. We still have that trust. So I feel very comfortable where we're at right now to hold Illinois responsible. And I think that it's time that we start, and play chess with them. They have the opportunity to do the right thing. Now, the right thing for me at this point is that when you are, you're being, when you rape a child, my personal experience from this is, it destroys, a lot inside. I've spoken about this in some of my speeches across the state last year, Dan, when I was fighting for the Seventh Amendment and trial by jury. And the state of Arkansas was trying to limit the liability on someone. And of course, the Seventh Amendment, the trial by jury, it says it shall remain inviolate. And for a trial by jury shall remain inviolate, is mean it cannot have any restrictions. You can't limit what the jury can state. And so I had these town hall meetings everywhere, which is what we're going to be doing with Lawful America. But I allowed both sides to come to the panel. I think that's how we come together, is that we allow both sides and we work out our differences. But there was a speaker there, and he said that children were raped at schools or churches, or more churches, that he didn't see why the church should be liable for it, and that he didn't think that the limit was going to be $250,000. But he didn't think that a child should be compensated for being raped at a church. Now, you and I know about the Catholics, how they've covered up all this. And so that was the first time that I publicly spoke about being in an environment that did do that. I was a product of being raped in church from the deacons and stuff. And I remember going to my youth director and telling him, and he did nothing. He told me that if I came back and told him that I had been raped, that it was probably going to be the first complaint on this guy. The police wouldn't do anything. So he said, why don't you just don't come back in here. You can come back in here and talk about other things, but don't talk about that. And so I, for the first time publicly, had talked about it. And, Dan, when you experience those things around adults that are supposed to be protecting you in an environment that's supposed to be of love and kindness and humanity, unfortunately, that is not where our churches have been. They've been, you see this. We see CIA agents in a lot of these big churches. I can name some churches on some intel that, a lot of people would probably be upset if we started saying those names. But those people should have been held accountable, and I'm still have been working through those experiences and making peace with them. Fortunately, with the Speak Project team and some amazing people that came on board to help me make peace, it's a blessing. But it took me over 30 years to find that peace. What is that worth to someone? What is it worth to Sasha that she's never going to grow up with her brother? What is it worth to Kara that's not going to have her son? And we have to hold these people accountable. You just can't demote them and say that's enough. That's not enough. You cannot replace the child, but I believe that you should have to pay for it, where they can get the therapy they need, they can get the help they need, and they can go rebuild a life. And I think truthfully, Kara should own Illinois. I am thrilled to death that one of my cases in the Supreme Court is against Illinois for $770 million and $44 million against Arkansas, and I believe we're going to win that case. And so I'm going to try to bankrupt them with that one, and then when I get done with them on that one, I'm coming after them after Kara's case. So I think before it's over, probably SpeakWalkers will have headquarters in Illinois, because we're going to flip it, we're going to restore the light. And we're going to be savage in that state, and it's going to be just absolutely amazing and bonafide type situation there. We're going to have headquarters there maybe one day.
I just had a thought. These states are basically incorporated entities. Can you actually own the state? And not that
I plan to.
I'm just thinking here, because I didn't think about it. Because usually if you have like a judgment against like some corporation or something like that, and they just bankrupts them, right? Literally, you can own that business. So these I'm not talking about say the republic, real government of a state that's there, but the incorporated entity. Can you literally take it over? Move in, fire all the managers, which would be the people that were elected.
Well, you got to remember, Dan, that most of these are not government agencies; they are the corporation.
Yeah.
You should look at your courthouses, because most of your courthouses are privately owned. There are some wonderful courthouses in Arkansas that you don't believe the judges didn't tell the people, but they moved the town into their name. The most courthouses in every state is not government owned; they are private entities. And therefore, yes, sir, you can put a lien on those facilities, because, and that's why people don't understand that they get, when they're on those, you know how they'll be arrested, right? You know, you'll see, Dan, that they get arrested. Well, they're getting arrested because you are trespassing, because it is a private entity. And, but it's a corporation. It's no different than if the Walmart had gross negligence, and I had a judgment against them, I could put a lien on Walmart because they pay their debt or I seize their property. And so at this point, I plan to seize their property.
Let's do a kind of a little mental game here. We won't use Walmart, but let's say Supermart, right? I don't know if there's a name out there called Supermart, but I'm just making up a name, Supermart, right? And it's this big box store. Right? And there's a children's aisle there with all these toys and everything. And you send your child, you know, they go running down there into the area, but they have people in there that are they're hired to rape the children. They come down the aisle. Right? Just, you know, that's just part of the process, right? You want a toy, you know, you got to do this and you know, touch that, do whatever it is, right? This abuse is part of their system. So you sue the box store and say, you can't do this, right? And then you win, and it's, you know, it's $1 billion that you win, and you end up owning the box store. So what's any different than we're talking about these fiefdoms that have been put in place, you know, where, you know, the judges end up, you know, each of these is like a you know, a feudal system, literally, where they're the king of that area, right? Because they are the judges, right? And they all get a piece of the action, and they end up owning everything. And they know about how the financial stuff works, and they know about what, you know, what they're doing in this system. So they end up running it. But if everyone realized what it is, they should be able to be taken over.
Correct. I think it's very important that people realize that the judges are not citizens. They're not individuals. When they take their oath, they become foreign agents. They are not people. We're not dealing with people like you and I who are here for humanity. That's why it's so important for Lawful America and the people to come together to realize that we are the fourth branch and that we will restore the power back to the people. And so I think it's really important that we realize that it's just a building. We can have a jury, we the people jury, in someone's living room. As long as we follow procedures, we have the correct amount, we follow everything. A jury can be called anywhere. We have been fooled to believe that courthouse, that White House, is in control, and they are not. It's very clear. And what they have done through all these things is through like CPS, vaccinations, is absolutely a conspiracy against rights, which is a violation of 18 U.S. Code 241. And so, you know, a lot of people say don't use U.S. Code, let's go to Constitution, but you have to realize if the U.S. Code does not violate the Constitution, you can absolutely use it. But what they've done is they have built a system that is nothing but racketeering influence, and this is nothing but a corrupt organization, and that is treason. What they have done is their oath was against for the Constitution. They have violated their oath, and you know, I remember the Supreme Court when Amy Hankins that we've had, you know, we've interviewed her with Speak Project. Tank did an amazing interview with her, and just how horrible what Arkansas did to her, and she's still fighting for her life. She's just an amazing, powerful woman. I have had been blessed to have her as a client, as a friend, and we are kicking their butt, and they know it. But we watch these people in the Supreme Court, and she said, you go in there and it's this marble palace. It doesn't represent the people anymore. It doesn't feel like I fit there as to represent herself, because we've made it to the Supreme Court as pro se. That's amazing to be able to make it to the Supreme Court like we have. But she said these courthouses don't feel right. There's marble, there's pictures. Let's talk about the Capitol. You know, it doesn't represent the people. We really got to come to a common ground, and we've got to go back to the round table where we all are at the round table, that it represents everyone, that if your neighbor does something wrong, that you can walk in there. That's what the Constitution and law was set up to be. And that's why a jury was so important, that a jury is being judged by your peers, people that know you, and they know what you do, something they represent you. And we have to really go back to that that style of thinking, that environment. But I personally think that we should get rid of all this marble palace. And how did they make it? How did they build these buildings? They built these buildings by fraud and stealing from the people. And you know, I want to see us build everything from the ground up and restore where people feel comfortable coming in, and they know that they're going to be represented, and they're going to have a day in court, and they're going to be judged by their peers. And if there's no victim, there's no crime. And truthfully, I hope that we have a backlog for so much of, you know, holding these politicians accountable. I think we could probably have court for the next 500 years, you know, holding all these people accountable if we didn't have a timeline where people, you know, were deceased.
Right. No, I think that we're going to have quite a long period of transition, but I think it's going to happen very quickly, though, the initial groups, right? The people at the, as soon as we get through the top 10, right?
So who would be your top 10? And so you give a name, and then I'll give a name, and let's see if we can come up with a savage list.
So there's, well, it's like top 10 of who should be going first, or the ones that will go first.
Should go first. And let's see, if you and I were in charge, because it is, hey, it's tonight, our show, right? So if we, it's our court, and we got 10 people that we're going to push through, and give me your first name.
Soros.
Oh, that's a good one. Mine has to be my good friend Hillary. I think it would just be time to, you know, help her with her glitching, and go ahead and take her out of her misery. And so, you know, for being Arkansas, and I've got so much evidence against Hillary. You know, I infiltrated her IT people at the Clinton Foundation, and you know, I think Hillary should be responsible for the guy that died in the pond, the water at the Clinton Foundation. And all you Little Rock people were told to sign that non-disclosure, and so people wouldn't find out about it. I think we got enough on Hillary, and that little dragon little woman, that she should be on. So Soros and Hillary. So we got two. Who's the next person?
Well, I would go in by family names and take them all at the same time. So Clintons, right? So everyone with the name Clinton, right? If you're not, if you weren't in the favorite in their favorite clan, you know, we can sort that out later, right? So there might have been some, you know, Clintons down the line that had nothing to do with what was going on, you know. But if you had the name Clinton, all right, you come in, and then we figure it out, because it's they use the families, right, as a way of keeping their power, right, and so, you know, Clintons, Bushes, Obamas, you know, as we start there.
So Soros, Clintons, the Bushes, and the Obamas. I would go with that one. So my fifth person then would be, I think he should die again, Epstein, because we all know that Epstein didn't kill and hang himself. So I would like to hang Epstein again, so that would be my fifth person.
Well, is he dead or is he alive?
Okay, let's just be real here. That man is not dead. I don't care what people say.
He's not dead.
And if he was dead, then I want to know where all those children are in those breeding grounds. Are you really going to try to convince me that we only got like 5 or 6 girls that are willing to go on the news, and that is controlled? That's Operation Mockingbird, where they're still controlling the story in your main media, and they use the same people. Epstein and them had breeding grounds. Where are those children? Why was there so much concrete taken to, and why did it take so long for the FBI to go to his location? He has a location in Arkansas. He has a breeding farm in Arkansas, and
New Mexico.
And we're all so Epstein's plan. Let's take, why is Maxine or whatever her name is? Why has she not been arrested? You can be Epstein's pimp and no one's doing anything.
Yeah, even that she had put out this post where she was in some In-N-Out burger in North Hollywood, right? And it was a made-up picture, right, with a bunch of information in there about that she wants to make a deal, right? If you read all the signs and what was there, so she was trying to make.
It's our list. You should be able to make a list. You should not be able to make a deal when you commit treason against the American people, and you should not be able to make a deal when you rape children. Yeah. I just do not believe in deals. I don't make deals.
Right. Well, this is
corruption. There's no deal.
Right.
There's no negotiating for me. The only thing is that you're going to be held accountable to the fullest extent that we can hold you accountable.
Well, apparently the deal is that if you did not harm anybody, if it was only about money, you could get out of Dodge, right? You could pack up and leave and just get out of the way. But if you harm someone, then there is no deal. You know, you're going to be held accountable for whatever that harm is. So so if it's just money.
Then if that's the case, if you take money from someone, you've harmed someone. So that would mean I know what you're saying, but people cannot take money from. They don't create money. Whether it's they stole it from us, like the Rothschilds and all that, they have harmed people. They've harmed humanity.
Okay, so
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So I know, but whatever that line is, right? I'm not saying what that means, harmed or not harmed. Where does the line go for where the harm is? If it's only about money. I mean, if you just made a deal, right, and you didn't know what was going on behind this, but you profited from it. Right? You weren't part of the rituals. You didn't know that human trafficking was involved, right? But you just made a lot of money, and you kind of maybe suspected something, but you turned a blind eye. Maybe those people are it's just financial harm that they come to. Maybe there's prison time, but
they might think they can pack a suitcase, but I can tell you right now that my team is savage and.
No suitcase.
They're going to be held accountable originally. No suitcase for me. I mean, if I were you at this point, I might just need to grab a paper bag and hit the road real fast because we're right on your tail, and they know that.
Why a paper?
Arkansas.
A paper bag?
We won in court today, and Dan in court, and so Arkansas knows that. I'm coming for them. I'm coming for them, but. I understand what you're saying. In the government world, that's how they think.
Right.
I personally think that we're in the point of it should be just so simple. It's a black and white type thing. It is good versus evil. It's wrong or right. There's no in the middle.
No gray area. No gray area.
It cannot continue to be that way. They're right. There's no gray area here, and I believe that we have to stop. It seems like if you are the elite, you can do these things and you can never go to prison. But if if I got caught doing something very minor, I could go to prison for 15 years. And if I did the crime, I agree with that. But I believe that this has got to be, again, where if we want to restore humanity, that this is good versus evil, it's right or wrong. Your yes is your yes, your no is no, and there is no more favors. It is time for, they've had the favors. The scale has been going their way for a long time, and it's time to hold people accountable. We have to have a system that's based on being authentic and truth, and justice has to be restored, and justice has to be served. And I believe that when you give people a pass that have done corruption at this level, if you give them a pass, they're just going to move to another country, they're going to move to another area, and they're going to continue to do the crap they've done over and over and over. They will continue to be victims.
Well, this is,
and I'm not in this fight for that.
Yeah, this is the time where this is really about world change, because
right.
the tentacles of this cabal are worldwide, every single country, and they hide in the shadows, but they long for everyone to know that they are the dominant ones. They want them to know that who their God is, and they want everyone to know. So they need to come out. It's like part of who they are. It's like their promised land is like hell on earth, where everybody knows that they are in hell, and that those are the masters, and they are the slave masters. So they've been pushing this agenda to get these things normalized, to get this, but it's not normal. And we can't approach it from one country. It is worldwide. We are together on this planet. This is not where there will be a safe haven here or there, unless it's really just a prison island that we make to put these people on. Oh yeah, Gitmo is an island, isn't it? So
I think so, and I believe so, and it's had some major construction. I looked at those maps, and so. I believe that we're at a point where the people are coming, and I always say, how does the hunted feel that they're being hunted now? And, we're hunting them down, and we're going to hold them accountable. It's important that we hold all of them accountable. And I've not been away from my family for 7 months to just go in there and say, Epstein, my intel got you arrested the first time. And you got out. Well, guess what? I'm coming for you again, buddy. And this time, I will make sure that you go to Gitmo, and I will make sure that you really do get to hang yourself this time. You're going out. And I'm tired of being deceived and lied to, like Saddam Hussein and all these, Osama bin Laden, how Obama lied to the people and he threw them in the water. And that is the biggest load of crap I've ever heard. We have got to stop allowing these corrupt people to be taken out that way, and they've got to be honestly held accountable for humanity to be restored across the world. We cannot, I know that we focus like Lawful America, we are going to do Lawful Australia, Lawful all these places, I think it's very important for people to realize humanity is not just fixing the United States. Humanity is not just fixing Australia. It's important that we all take the responsibility and that we come together and we restore humanity across the world, where we become one consciousness, one light, and humanity is restored to kindness and love, and that our energy is going to be the vibration that we put out there is what's going to change the world, and these crimes will stop. I want to build a system, which is what we're doing right now in the United States of America, is that the people have a way to hold people accountable, and they're no longer a slave. I believe that when you truly hold people accountable, they know that what the crime will be, that they want to do the right thing. And I believe that we need to change the mindset, and we have to restore the moral compass across the world. If you do not have a moral compass, I really encourage all of you to look within inside, find out why you're reacting the way you are, and make your wrong right. And even with like Judge Dalton and these other judges that have done things, they have the opportunity to right their wrong. that does not mean that they are not going to be held accountable.
Right. No, we definitely cannot just let people off the hook. Oh, change your job, move to this area. No. You've been doing a lot of wrong things for a long time, and you're the problem. You're the one holding a position of power over other people, and you're stopping the good people from having a say. And this is what has been, set up. A worldwide system. The only way that you rise is if you are corrupted.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is what has to end, and it has to be taken on in a worldwide basis. That's why, seeing what's going on with North Korea and Iran are like premium examples of why there is hope that things can change. Right? People are saying we're going to war with Iran. Not for one moment. This was all it's set up in queue. This, a year and a half ago, talking about this time. Here's the post. Here's the date. We can see that there is a changeover that's going to happen, and these people being removed. So if those people are no longer the axis of evil is gone, they've lost all of their main bases.
I believe that it's, again, the one thing that I didn't follow Q when I was actually getting my intel. People are like, how do you know that you had to be volunteer? I went on my own journey. I listened to my intuition, and I did not allow anyone to direct me the way I was going for my intel. And so I think before, maybe 4 or 5 months ago, I'd actually only looked at Q maybe 10 times, if that. It was when someone sent me something directly to look at, I would look at it. So all my intel and the path I went was me following the money and going, hitting the ground and getting intel.
Well, you're a self-starter. Yes, and that's what Q is there for, is to help people that are not self-starters. The people that don't understand what to do or how to look or a way to find the information. And it's to be one area where you can know that there'll be a source of information that you can, dig in. So, but if you're a self-starter, you can get through these things and follow the money, right? Which is the same thing that Q would tell people, follow the money. And so to learn how to do the researching.
Follow the money.
Yeah.
You're, in researching, if you get kind of in a dead end road, it's normally because you're not following the money anymore. And I've had some great successes, and one reason that Tank and I were talking tonight, and I told him that I would come, do the show, and I was telling him that we had a win in Arkansas today. Many of you know about the Davis family in Arkansas that had lost their children. She had testified, and 19 DHS workers went to jail. Do you remember that, Dan?
Yes.
That story? Mm-hmm. And so we've been fighting. CPS worker that has been after that family filed a false charge against Mr. Davis and acted like he was harassing them. We were able to pull the cameras at work. The time that she got a call, it was just simply not true. Now, unfortunately for Mr. Davis, he was on probation, not on something something minor. It wasn't nothing to do with the children, and something he done a long time ago. And they came after him very hard, and they wanted him to take a deal. Of course, an attorney wanted him to take the deal because the attorney has to work for the state. And we were like, we're not taking a deal. We got the paperwork because there was a new worker in Arkansas. She didn't know any better, so she gave us some paperwork. And when I looked at the paperwork, I'm like, these signatures don't match. This is not correct. There was so much mistakes in the affidavit. So of course I recorded. I called them out on it. So we had the original paperwork. And Lawful, Arkansas, because they're so lawful, and it's the most unlawful state. Arkansas and Illinois is pretty tight right now. But they actually removed this paperwork and tried to make it like a new form. They tried to get Mr. Davis to take a deal, to go back to jail. I mean, and every time we beat them, they were trying to do something else. Like they a failed drug test. It's absolutely unreal what they've done to this family. And so we were able to win in court against the CPS worker. He wasn't guilty. So if he wasn't guilty, shouldn't probation be over? Not in the state of Arkansas. When the state of Arkansas continues to want to take him to court, they want to still send him to jail, continue his probation if he doesn't go to jail. And they are a very strong Christian family, a very strong family. We talked about it and just supporting in prayer, supporting with case law. And they went to a conference, a retreat that we hosted where they got some education on information. And I am so glad to report tonight, because this is a big win in Arkansas for us. They went in front of the judge today at 1 o'clock, in front of the judge that took their children away. And at 1 o'clock, and she sent me a message, because I was like, what's going on? And she said, they put us on hold. The judge went on break. Now, I was like, okay, no plea, we didn't want to take a plea deal. He wasn't guilty. And I believe the system is built up where they're scaring people to take a deal because they think, well, I'll go spend 3 months in jail. Mr. Davis was so brave. His wife was so courageable. Ms. Davis, they just had the courage to continue to fight. And we went in front of the judge at 3 o'clock and we won. Probation is over, and it's over for them. So it was absolutely a huge win. It was so exciting. That's the kind of stuff that, we want to do, just to be absolutely bona fide across the state of Arkansas. We're going to continue to be savage in their courtrooms. Now, when she called me, she's like, Michelle, we won because of you. Now, what we did was, I know Arkansas watches my page. So I have 4 cases in the state of Arkansas where DHS pinged their phones. And that's how they stay 2 steps ahead, or they'll make it look like the parent sent something and the parent did not. The Davis family is one of those, that the CPS pinged their phone. But unfortunately for the state of Arkansas and DHS, when they pinged the phones, it pinged back to their system. Now, I've got some people in the state of Arkansas that I had a task force take out the electronics out of Arkansas. We've been monitoring them for several months. So the state of Arkansas is basically screwed right now, because we have got the evidence where they've been buying guns in Germany. They have been trafficking children out of Belgium, Germany, Russia. And then they've been buying houses, $50,000 things in these parents' names using Social Security. It's absolutely, I've got one day that we watched them and they transferred $56,000 in one thing. So what they're even also doing is, like, how people get these credit cards at Walmart, they activate them. Well, it's a refill, but you may not refill them. They refill them on fake deal, and then they use it so it looks like you're purchasing it, you're doing the crime. And so I absolutely love that right now I've got Arkansas down. I've got them. And they thought I pulled the rug out from them when I announced the 2 sets of books with Linda Collins. It's over. It's absolutely over for them. But I made a statement on my Facebook the other day that we've got the devices that you pinged, and you better get ready for Arkansas, because I'm coming for you. And I absolutely believe that is one reason why they knew. I have told Arkansas over and over, if you send him back to jail, I'm going to burn this state down. And I protect my people. I will always protect my people. I walked away from a $2 million contract to come back and fight for my state. And I represent the people, the humanity, and there's not a single person in this state that I'm afraid of. And I plan to hold every one of them accountable.
Awesome.
So it's a win.
Awesome.
It's a win. It's a big win.
Oh, you're wonderful. Thank you so much for everything you're doing, because this is what it takes, to stand up and stop it, right? To put it in their face and don't take the deals, right? And do what's right. That's what it comes down to, doing the right thing. And thank you for everything.
That's right.
It's
So, well, I guess we've had a little bit over an hour show, and you know, I know sometimes you and Tank go for a long time, but I really appreciate you letting me co-host with you tonight. Maybe we can talk Tank and allowing me and Lisa once in a while coming in and co-hosting with you, and
well, we can do programs with at any time. You know, it doesn't have to be at this particular time. So we could do 3-4 shows a day.
That.
So if there's something that needs to go up, well, we can do it at any time. You just got to let me know. I'm usually, you know, on the spot. We can do things. It's okay most of the time.
Okay, that's great. You know, we've got some exciting things with Waffle America, and we've got some amazing announcements that are going to be coming up. I am absolutely excited. They don't see what's coming. I know they don't see what's coming, and so the core team, and we've got some amazing people. We've got Joe out of California. We've got state directors. We've got Joe Ellen out of Illinois. We've got a new person in Idaho. I checked email yesterday and had like 40 messages in just a very short period of time, people coming forward, wanting to help. It is amazing how everybody's coming together and they're understanding that we need boots on the ground and that this is about restoring humanity. The Waffle America website, and just want to make sure that people know that we do have the letter out up where you can send it in the PDF file, add your child's name, the school, email it to your school, and let them know that vaccinations are unlawful, they're unconstitutional. It's treason. There's so many violations here. We can, you know, but you know, let your school know that they're in violation of 10 U.S. Code and 6964, which is hazing, and it's you know, it's wrong what they've done, and we've got to hold these people accountable. And you know, if you're in a position, you're a doctor, you're a pharmacist, you're a school teacher, and it's time that we do the right thing. Fear is what controls the enemy. They want you to be afraid, right. And there's a whole lot more of us than them, and it's really time that we come together and we hold everyone accountable. And you know, I'm extremely excited what's coming with the Waffle America. We're working 19, 20-hour days. We've got an amazing team coming. We've got and Tom out of Illinois. We've got Jules, Vera, all of y'all that are just working night and day to make this happen. I have been so excited about this, and of course we have Tank, who is an amazing leader and just a stand-up guy. I said today in the video I did on my Facebook Live this morning that he's absolutely so transparent on your show every night, and I just have the utmost respect for Tank. And you know, thank you, Dan, for you as well. You were the first show that I was doing radio in my state and other places that, and from the very first night that I've been on your show and with Tank, y'all, I immediately was told I would always have a platform, and y'all have been so true to your word. Y'all have, I've said this other day on your New Year's show, and I'll get emotional if I go in this too much, but the core team, and I think your audience knows that I would not be here. I would not be alive if it wasn't for all of you. And that's not just an underestimate, or I'm just saying that. It's the truth. I wouldn't be alive. And I don't even know how to thank all of you. There are no words that I can say to how much love I feel for all of you and the audience. And I take a 20-minute, 30-minute break a lot of times to come listen to you and Tank and speak and interact with them, Andrew and all of them. And I just absolutely love all of y'all. Y'all are amazing. And your prayers, your energy, your support is what gets us through the day. And so thank you so much for your platform. And I love all of you. And you know, thank you for everything you do, Dan. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you. Thank you for those kind words. I appreciate it. I do what I can. I know Tank does what he can. We're all just making these steps to make a different world, and it's here, right? But we've got a lot more steps, and we got a lot more people to move, and we're making it happen. So let's just keep going. And I thank you for everything you do, and I love you. I love all your work. You know, it's amazing how courageous you've been, how that you've made such an impact that you can literally now take on the states and really push this back. You're one of the main front lines. We'll make you a general. That's it. We'll give you a general. A general on the front lines.
It's a privilege to work with all of you, and we've got a savage team. Like y'all are badass. Like all of you are, and but you're so authentic and so true to the heart, and you've been the perfect example. All of you have, and y'all lift me up. I really mean it that the Speak Project family and the front lines and the Create Change, all of them are absolutely the peak of my day, and they're there for me when it's my low. I've been sick for about a week, and got really sick the other day, and the team is what got me through it, and so it's just the support system that we have here is we're family. I really don't people realize that we all can become family. I believe we can become family across the world, and this is how we restore humanity. Is it starts in a small group, and that group builds. It's about me taking the baton. I've had some great mentors who trained me how to find child trafficking, how to do what I do, and they did their job, and then they handed me the baton and said, "Now you go make this better. You make it better." And my job is not to stay always in this position. I come in and I do what I need to do, and then I'm going to hand the baton to someone else, and they're going to make it more amazingly great than I can make it. And I'm just going to keep moving up. I'm going to keep moving up all the way to the top. And it's about being light and love and making a difference. I want to use every gift that I have and restore. And my legacy will be that I didn't sit there and allow this to just happen and not do nothing. There will never be anyone. I have my enemies, and I don't have a problem having my enemies. I've been hit at all day. You can talk about me all day long. That's okay, because I know who I am. And and it's about having integrity. It's about all of us coming together and to restore love and just restore humanity. And so thank you for the kind words. I'm very happy where I'm at in life right now, and I've met my second family, and I love all of you. So thank you, and thank you for such a amazing show. Thank you for letting me crash the front line, and I hope that I was authentic, true, and absolutely just gave you an absolute bona fide show tonight. And maybe Tank will think I was savage on here. I don't know. And maybe he'll let me come back and be his co-host or your co-host again if he can't be here.
No problem. Anytime. So just let me know whenever you want to come on, and I appreciate it. So this is a very good format. I'm happy to be here and make it happen with Tank, without Tank. I know Tank wants to take a vacation. No, I know he's got meetings and things. We all have things. I almost didn't get on yesterday because the Wi-Fi, literally, as I started Zoom, it went off. I went, what's going on? The whole system went down. Yeah. So I said, how am I going to do this? About half an hour later, it came back up.
Well, I'm not Tank. He's an amazing guy, and I know the audience absolutely loves him. I can't blame him. He is an amazing speaker, and he has so much information. I'm sure that he'll be giving the intel tomorrow. I did see the intel report, but that's Tank's job, and he's an amazing leader in this, and so I'm sure that the whole audience will be back.
So that's not fair.
I love him.
That's not fair. You're teasing us with the intel.
Well, if I gave the intel, Tank may not let me come back, and so I gotta weigh,
Well, he can't stop you. He can't stop you.
Well, the thing is if you want to know what's going on with the intel, you're going to have to come back tomorrow night and see what Tank has to say, because it's going to be powerful. It's going to be amazing. And good luck, Dragon Family. That's all I can say. And hey, Lexum, I know what's going on. So, you know, it's going to be good. So, hey, all of you come back tomorrow night and listen to Tank and listen to the intel that's came in. And let's keep changing the world. Change the world, restore light and love.
That's a wonderful way to end it. All right. Thank you, Michelle, for coming on. It'll be wonderful to hear what's going on tomorrow. And we'll see you tomorrow on the front lines. Bye, everybody.
Good night.